Okay, let me explain to you the saga of the laminator. Oh, dear. So I realized that there's some kids' names on these, but I want to show you my new name tags. They kind of look like this. And so they have the tabs. So when you cut them out and laminate them, they go in those adhesive pockets. And the kids can pull out one tab. Like if they need the tab for the money and the numbers, or if they need the letters, stuff like that. I'm gonna put a clip in of the woman who created this, because it's a really cool, like, it's like a little boomerang, but it's cool to see like what it looks like when you can slide out the tabs. And I really liked that. So I'm also gonna laminate these and make sure that their names are on them, and then put them into these adhesive pockets. All right. Hi guys, I'm back. It's the next day. I'm back in my classroom. It's super, super early in the morning and I'm so tired, but I actually have a meeting today here at school with a new student whose mom is super anxious and the kid's super anxious, so they want to come do a tour of the building. And so because of that, I need to get my stuff done before they come. So last night I don't even know, I spent like forever cutting out, laminating various things. So there's a lot of stuff happening, but basically I'll show you some of the things that I'm excited about, that I'm gonna put up hopefully within the next hour before people start showing up. I might film myself doing it. I might just film the after part of it, just because I'm in a little bit of a time crunch, and filming takes time. Every time you set up the camera, you gotta show what you're putting up, and so I just don't know if I have the time for it. But one thing I want is I want a section of my room that's whole body listening. I know it's probably backwards, but whatever. So I'm going to have some pictures up to remind them. This is all from a special education. If you are in special ed and you don't look at her stuff, you're nuts. You need everything that she's ever made, because she is queen. Michaela is queen. So basically there's pictures about, you know, hands to yourself, your brain on, your mouth closed, stuff like that. So I'm going to make, on my cupboards, I'm going to make one of them like a small bulletin board that just talks about like whole body listening. What else? Oh, it also comes with like an expectations little poster thing that I just need to cut out and make like a little, whatever it's called, cute little thing. One other thing I made, where I found this free from, I think it's Mrs. P's specialities or something, and it's just pictures of different like glue and colored pencils and markers, scissors, stuff like that. So I usually have these every year on magnets on the board, so when we're working on something, I just put up what we're gonna need and they have to take it out, so it's like a silent thing. What else? I also made 2 hall passes that I'm going to put on lanyards. One is for the nurse and one is for the office. So a lot of my kids, I trust them to walk back and forth to the office alone, or they take my attendance or whatever. So I just want them to have a pass so that people know why they're walking down the hall. So that's kind of a big deal. Hi guys, all right, I'm back. I'm making slow progress. I have my meeting in a little bit, but I wanted to show you just some of the stuff that I finished so that I can move on. So come with me. All right, so this is what's above my sink, which I hate this sink, but like, you know, that's life. So this is where their birthday signs are gonna go. So I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna have them make their own little birthday name tags, and then we're gonna take nice photos. Over here, I put their cups. This is like just a stupid, simple shoe thing. And so then each of their cups goes in there. When I get more kids, I add another row, but for right now, this is good. And then I've had this for like a year, but I liked it because it's like the whole world. It's some fabric that I found, like scrap fabric, and then waiting for their work to come in. Let's see. I finally added this whole body listening chart, which I'm super pumped about. And so I can refer to it when I need to. This is where they put their backpacks and stuff. I can explain that. So basically, my kids were having their backpacks outside. Oh my gosh, I keep hearing things. Basically, they were having their backpacks outside in the hallway. They would hang them up and then they'd bring their folders in, whatever. But some of the behaviors from the classrooms across the hall, the kids would go in the hallway, they would have behaviors, they would throw my students' backpacks like all around. And so I finally was like, you know what? We're not doing this anymore. I don't want anyone's iPad to get broken. I don't want any kid to be all anxious that their backpack's getting ruined. So now I had to make space for my storage for my kids' backpacks. So I can show you how I keep them. It's kind of a little bit of a mess, but like it works, you know? So these hooks were already inside. And so I fit 3 kids on the bottom and then 2 kids can just lay their backpacks up top. So if I open this one, then I can get another 3 backpacks here and another 2 here. So I can literally fit 10 kids in here, probably 12 if I was really, someone must have spilled something down there. I gotta clean it up. So I can hang a bunch of backpacks. In the winter, it's a little snug because of their jackets, but it usually works pretty well. So something that I always have in my class is I always have like these little settling bins. I just bought more of these from the dollar store, but I can show you an old, let me show you, oh, that, see how this gets cracked? That's why I need a new one. All right, let me find a good one. Basically, I have this little tub and inside has what's it called? A Play-Doh and then a tiny thing of kinetic sand. Anytime my kids are finished with their work, if they don't want to do like a finished activity or something, or they're a little dysregulated, but they're not upset, like they don't need to go into a separate area, they'll come and get these like tubs, and they can come anytime. And it's just a sensory bin, and it's the cheapest thing. I mean, if you go to the dollar store, you can get a pack of these 3 things for $1. And then if you get a Play-Doh at Walmart, they're 50 cents. And so they just know to use them. So they already self-regulate themselves, and then they can be like, you know what, Miss Martin, I need a moment. And then they come get the tub, they come back to their seat, they just use the Play-Doh and whatever. So it's accessible to them. But I was finding that having it in their desk wasn't working, because then sometimes they would play with it. And my rule in my class is if it becomes a toy, I take it away. If you're not using it to settle, you're using it as a toy, then it's gone. And so having them to the side is a lot. Having them to the side is like a lot better. Gosh. So I keep them, if you walk in my room, this is like the community table, and I used to have it up front in the room, but now I'm gonna have it to the side. And so this cute little wicker basket I got at Savers, and so everyone is gonna have their own little tub in there, and then they can just use it. All right. You're literally getting all the angles of my class. I'm sorry, I'm back on again. Hold on, I need my coffee. All right, we're back. So I know I have a planning video that talks about how I plan my weeks and all that stuff, but it goes on the inside of how I do multi-grade, like how I write out everything that I teach. I still use that system, and I make copies, and then I give them to each of my paraprofessionals so that they're, you know, up to date. They know exactly what we're doing each week. But this year, I'm also using an Erin Condren, but weirdly enough, okay, this is kind of weird. They sent me a 2018-2019 calendar instead of a 2019-2020. I think it was just like a confusion. I don't really care because it still works the same to me. So I'm using my Erin Condren as my like testing out. I like to draft everything out, see what I like about it, see what I don't. I like to keep a hard copy of a book. So I do have like a hard copy Erin Condren that I'm going to use. I also made this little, I don't know if you can see, I'll try and show you. This little tab, it says today, And I used like little stickers, and then I laminated it and cut it so that it would fit in here. It's really nice. But one thing I'm really excited about is, I don't know if you follow Teach, Create, Motivate on Instagram, which you should. I love her resources. I'm using her calendar this year, whatever. I'm using her calendar set, everything. So she does have a teacher planner that she just came out with the design, and I really liked it because it was simple, it was clean. And one thing I want to start doing is planning digitally. So planning it all out on the computer, printing it off so that my staff has it instead of writing it by hand and then photocopying it. So I decided to get her teacher planner. It's like $8.99 on Teachers Pay Teachers. I'll link it below. I love designing stuff for TPT, but I don't ever want to have to design a calendar or like a big teacher planner like this. So basically I printed it off, and I printed it on yellow paper so I could distinguish like the cover and the slots and what's it called? Tabs. And the pages in between are going to be white. So it's really simple, and like you can totally go on her Instagram. I'll link below all the things that I'm telling you about, but she is so creative. So I laminated the front page in yellow paper, like cardstock yellow paper. And then I bought this at Staples. It goes, any disc bound system, I prefer for things like this because you can take things out, put them back in. And at Staples they sell these little inserts that have the sticky notes that go in the disc bound. So then there's a place, I might rearrange it, but there's a place for like notes, student info, I'm not going to show you that, passwords, what else? There's a place for emergency procedures, any meeting notes. So then my school calendar, so for my summer school ESY calendar, I designed it and sent it out to all the students that are coming. So I made a copy of that, so that's in my planner, as well as the district-wide like year calendar that they just released for the upcoming year. But this is my favorite. So she has two options for monthly calendars. So because my ESY starting in July, I have July 1st, but you can either get a 2-page spread calendar or a 1-pager, and I like the 1-page. It just like helps me plan. I like that it's all small and on 1 page. So I also printed out all the months that I'm gonna have. Then I have a section for plans, and I'm so pumped about this. So I just printed off an example plan just so I felt like I could see, but like look at this. It's so clear and laid out, and I like when the days are at the top because that way I can print this and copy it for my staff and they can lay it out and see. But then I have room to write what the subjects are. And then I'm going to do this on the computer so I can fit what the kindergartners are going to do, the first graders and the second graders. So anyway, I'm super excited about this planner. So this is kind of going to be like the official one, and every week I'm going to add to it and print off my new plans. Hi guys, and welcome back. I am back in the class again. It's a day later. I have summer school starting soon, and so I have a feeling that my classroom will not be done in time for summer school. I'm just being honest, but I at least want to get like the majority of my materials like set, I guess, so that I don't have to worry about it. And decor can come later, which, to be honest, I think it's nice and pretty to have a classroom that makes you feel comfortable and creative, but having it be functional and ready for kids is like my main priority. And so I've accepted that my classroom is not going to be like Pinterest perfect, Instagram perfect, and I'm totally okay with that because I want my kids to learn, and I do want them to feel comfortable in their environment. But if they have their correct materials, if they feel like they're being supported by educators, if they are able to grow and mature, then that is like number one. And the color scheme and the theme is like second to their academic and social emotional progress. So I hope that makes sense. So I feel perfectly fine starting off my summer school without having everything completely set. So I've been trying to show you guys more some of the ideas like social emotional and academic ideas that I have, just because personally I think that makes more sense to me and sits better with me. So right now I'm going to get their their pencil boxes ready. So I give them crayons, I give them some colored pencils, that they have their own pencil box. And so I kind of want to get those all set and nice for them for when they come back. So that's kind of like my main priority. So I hope that doesn't isolate anyone or make them feel like their classroom isn't important. Like, go for it. Spend all the money you want. Get the materials you want. I hope you feel supported. I will support you in whatever you choose to do in your classroom. I just think also, while you're going to Target and buying stuff, take a look at some pedagogical articles. Read some stuff. Look at some YouTube videos, you know. Get yourself familiar with their different disabilities. Learn about all the paperwork that's in place. I mean, do those things with the same excitement and emphasis that you do your shopping, if that makes sense. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna get my pencil boxes ready. All right, so I use these little, I don't know. Oh my gosh, it's gonna fall, it's gonna fall, it's gonna fall. Ah! Okay, I use these little locket boxes that you can get at the dollar store, and I fit their crayons in it. I'm not gonna buy them new crayons because I have a bunch of half-used crayons and they can deal with those. I'm not gonna buy them new crayons. And then I also have these. So this fits inside of here. I also give them some colored pencils, and a few markers. Last year they were able to keep these in their desk, but I found that some kids just couldn't handle that. So I'm going to create an area where their pencil boxes stay safe. So hopefully we won't have arguments and we won't have kids coloring in their desks while I'm trying to teach them, basically. Let's see. The big thing I want to do is I want to put up a garland in my window. I'm not allowed to put blinds on my window because it's like a fire hazard. So I just got like these little, hold on, let me show you. These little like banner packs from Target. They're like $3. So they're long enough. I actually have one hanging in the back where my geckos, where their cage or their little terrarium goes. So I want to put these in the window because I want it to be colorful. So I'm going to put them up and then I'll show you what it looks like. I need something in these windows. They're so hideous, but I wish I could put up like a nice little curtain or something, but I'm not allowed to. So we'll see if this works. It's kind of hard to see, but I put them up and I actually like them. I think it brings some color. Yay. To be honest, summer school started, and because of that, I had to just start using my room the way it was, but it's not finished yet. And luckily summer school is short, so it's not gonna take it's not going to mess up my room in any way, and it's not going to last a very long time. And I really don't consider like my room to be officially like cleaned out and finished until September anyway, which is when we start school. I'm going to try this desk to see if I can put this adhesive pocket on it. My gosh, the saga of the Velcro continues, because last year when I had name tags, I used Velcro. Is there anything more satisfying than ripping off Velcro? No, find me something. What the heck? Not that you can see that because it's like kind of clear. Oh, satisfying. Yes. All right, let me do the other ones and I'll be back. So I just plugged in my new laminator. I had been given a laminator from someone who had this classroom years and years ago. And basically, I used it when I was in school. I can't get my words out. It's early in the morning. And then I have a laminator at home that I bought from like Target. But the one I had at school, honestly, it was old, but it worked perfectly good. Well, someone asked to borrow the laminator and use it. And what they did, so there are two types of people who laminate. You're supposed to take the lamination sheet, right? And you're supposed to put in all the papers in the sheet, make it like Tetris and make it fit so you laminate one whole sheet. You're not supposed to cut up the laminating sheets and try to piecemeal them together. So basically, she used these scrap pieces of lamination and tried to fit that through the laminator, but it just got stuck in there. And so she basically like jammed up my laminator. And I'm not an angry person, so I was like all right with it, but there were just a few moments that I needed to laminate something and there was no laminator. So I finally like had to get over it and like move on. But they felt so bad, they bought me a new laminator. So now I have a beautiful, shiny new laminator, and I'll show you. Oh. So I'm going to laminate some other part of my calendar set. So one thing I want my kids to work on are the days of the week. So I didn't buy anything special, I just made it, but I don't know if you can see that, but it has the days of the week, then it has these boxes, and then these days, like, I'm going to also laminate yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So they're just going to have to, one person per day, put the, like, what was yesterday, what was today, and what was tomorrow. So I'm going to laminate those, and we'll see.